Why do I feel like I should be afraid of you? Because you remember.
Without remembering. Why do you look at me like I'm already gone?
Because in every other version of the world, you are.
Because no matter what I do, you always die.
In the final version of the world, the sun does not set, it disappears, and when it does, everyone forgets how the story used to end. Except him. He remembers every death, every failure, every version of her, slipping through his hands like time itself has grown tired of mercy. This is not the first timeline, not the second, not even the 10th. This is the last one where they survive.
His name was Calum Vire, a man cursed with memory in a world that resets itself like a cruel joke, told by gods who no longer listen. He had lived this life before, not metaphorically, not poetically, literally, hundreds of times, and every time it ended the same way, her death.
And her, Illyra Solwyn, a star seer, a woman who could read destiny written across the sky, yet somehow never saw her own end coming. She was brilliant, stubborn, annoyingly optimistic, the kind of person who would smile while walking directly into catastrophe, and somehow make you believe it was a good idea. She had no memory of him, not in this timeline. He had seen this moment before. Every word, every gesture, even the exact second she would turn and notice him. And every time, he forgot how to answer.
This is not Dragonbone. This is Painted Goat Rib. Do I look like I fell from the moon yesterday?
He had stood in this exact place before. Not once. Not twice. But enough times that the sunlight felt rehearsed. And her laughter felt like a line the world refused to stop repeating. There she was. Unchanged. Arguing over something trivial. As if fate wasn't already sharpening a blade with her name on it. It was always like this in the beginning. She was light. Too bright for a world that kept finding ways to dim her. And he was the only one who remembered how it ended. Every version of her. Every last breath. Every moment where her voice faded into silence. All of it lived inside him. Like echoes that refused to die. And yet, here she was again. Laughing. Breathing. Completely unaware that the men watching her from the shadows had already lost her. More times than she had ever lived. And still, he looked at her like a miracle. And a tragedy. Waiting to happen. They walked side by side. Like strangers learning a rhythm they had already mastered in another life. The streets were quiet here. Lanterns swaying gently. Casting gold across cobblestones worn by 1,000 forgotten stories. And for a moment, it almost felt new. She spoke without hesitation. Laughing at her own thoughts. Filling the silence he never knew how to break. And he listened. Not because he hadn't heard it before. But because he had. Every word. Every pause. Every soft breath between sentences. He knew them all. And still, they felt different. Because this time, he wasn't searching for the moment it would all go wrong. He was holding on to the moment before it did. Her shoulder brushed against his, light, accidental. But it lingered. Like something fragile trying to remember how to exist. And she didn't pull away. She never did. Not at the beginning. Voice softens, almost breaking. There was always a beginning. Beautiful. Easy. Dangerously hopeful. And for a few stolen steps beneath borrowed light, he let himself believe that maybe this version of them wouldn't end the same way. He could not tell her the truth. Not again. Because every time he did, she stopped trusting him sooner. And when she stopped trusting him, she died faster. But this timeline. Something had changed. For the first time. She saw it. And worse. She saw him standing at the center of it.
The sun, it's not fading. It's being erased.
Why do I feel like I already lost you when I barely know you?
There it was. That instinct. That lingering echo of timelines she could not remember.
Because some endings leave scars, even on memories that never happened. The loop was breaking. Not resetting cleanly anymore, but collapsing under the weight of its own repetition. And in every fracture, the same truth whispered. There was no saving her, only delaying the inevitable. But this time, he made a different choice. For the first time, he would not try to fix the story.
If the world ends, at least I didn't spend it alone.
She didn't need saving. She needed to live, even if it was only once.
The final eclipse came, not as destruction, but as silence. And in that silence, he did nothing. No reset, no bargain, no sacrifice, just acceptance. And that changed everything, because the world was never meant to be perfect. It was meant to be lived. For the first time, he didn't fix the story. He let it end. And somehow, that was the only way it could finally begin.